How can something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. Welcome to Biomutant. Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Deadeye, Deadeye, Saboteur. Saboteur chosen. That'll work. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or your inner voice to be precise, an echo of balance and consequence.
Seems more like you're being light-headed if you ask me, but you'll come around, eventually.
But what comes around goes all the way back around. So, it's better to stick to...
In your nature, and here I was hoping we'd be all about natural selection, survival of the strongest, and so forth. If that's not instinct, then I don't know what is.
Natural selection is all about evolution and progress, and as soon as there's enough light, darkness will disappear.
Guess left can be right sometimes. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die. The deep cut. Close encounter. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Sock it to him. That'll come in handy. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress, globs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Swoon. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. Of spark metal going pew pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. Small things for your big ideas. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember. It's a scar you're covering under that eye patch, isn't it? But he would have recognized you anyways. You look exactly like your Muma. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Looper Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have.
Fabobe, Mok Kofar.
It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land.
Oloi po bopaweg, ye mufurbu, bum.
The impending threat of the World Eaters bringing down the Tree of Life is ever so close. He also worries about the Jagni tribe that's actively working for a doomsday and purging of the world.
Ugabon ang ugagad ye promo vutuloya, vuto lula.
Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here. You're such a good child, so you probably did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding. You found one. You should be proud. They don't come up. The Nono's ki energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. Only time will tell. At least his intention is to dedicate his life to it. He has the feeling the fate of the world depends on it. You need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall... You'll need a net to catch the nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The nono are sensitive... You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of nono out there that need to be guided to the roots of the pensai tree. They're hiding in the glitter grass that mostly grows deep inside damp caves, where they draw mineral from the natural rock. One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain the world. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree. Now that you've seen the nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to protect us. You can already see the effects from how reckless those before us acted, and unless something changes, we're doomed. The land won't survive the side effects of the old world's industrial advances. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. No, she's got lots on her mind and needs rest after the raid last night on the Lupin camp with her disciples. Wonders if they let the Predator family live or not. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the tree of life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived. The genetic evolution that occurred after the apocalypse that Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land set the World Eater's DNA into overdrive. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide. a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast.
Koibe o Korfabe Kutuvun Poputoi.
Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each route.
Toluwoya lo Yalubatoluyu.
The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own.
Kamuiba ko Boboyaboy.
He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved.
Ewe Boboye. Vunko Vuntu.
His friends have prepared something specific for each World Eater. The Mekton, the Octopod, the Majute, and the Googlide are almost ready to ride.
Yowotulua.
Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters.
Towowu.
You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out of Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
That's a spider!
That's right. Smack that spark out before it starts.
You don't have to be so harsh. It's such a little spark.
Now, take it out now while it's small.
There's always another spark.
There's Out of Date again. He must have missed something important.
Atu wamawa farfarifto tuka kubu.
Out of Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there are two nearby.
Potowata.
The Myriad tribe is likely to be a good match as they act on the understanding of the greater good and have a code of honor.
Far kobemako to far titaba. Farfarifto tuka kubu.
Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way.
Kutai hifar befarbe.
Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side.
Ka nuka nuburak balowotoloa.
He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part.
Ba no yuanu tolu keta ya wawanawe.
He can sense you share Myriad's view on the world. The Myriad would embrace someone willing to fight against the tyranny of the Jagni.
Fai ketawa? Ba no yuanu.
Out of Date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do.
Yun luau tula.
Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. Nice shot. Right in the face. Flex up. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. They've already got word of an intruder, so he guesses the Sifu must be very interested in meeting you. The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next, and that's something you have in common. He's convinced you've returned for a reason, and is glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. There were 6 of them, but the unity fell apart after Lupa Lupin attacked the old village. Soon after, they formed new tribes based on their own values, and when the Blight started, the animosity escalated to war. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land, and there are rivals in all directions. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. If you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and... He was hoping you'd join them. You understand that there's no harm in doing good to others. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni tribe. The Jagni tribe may believe that fear and hatred will lead them to domination. A vanquisition of the tribes and destruction of the Tree of Life won't be the restart they want. It's just an end to everything. Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. They might bring them war, but they'll never take away their inner peace. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both have gentle minds, so they want to wage a gentle war. A war that bonds as much as it breaks. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their... They passed the point of no return as their words lost power and see no other way forward than using violence to combat violence. Seeing you brings back his memories of the old village. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. He remembers your kind and unselfish soul. Anyway, the memories you make with your family are... He can't... Your key energy is too low. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. Hey, nice shot. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Goop says he always does better whenever he leaves failure behind. He's happy his good mood is infectious. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. Goop says some choose to be lonely because no one... He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. And he'll be honored. He says that wasn't too bad, was it? At least you learned that you'll drown if you don't swim. But you need practice, lots of practice. You need to rely on those who somehow know how to teach, those willing to bend down and help you pick up your boots. You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. He knows that's not true. You've just made up your mind you're not. Judging by your Mooma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. You know you can't make up for lost time. You should know, practice makes perfect. As long as it doesn't kill you, it'll only make you stronger. She'll see you at the village square. She says that's good. With a passion for learning, you'll never cease to grow. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. You should... He wonders what usefulness you found. He says every... You did well, but he can't help but wonder what... He appreciates those able... He's looking... It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village... Then you've got a good excuse. You share a responsibility to prevent hardship on nature and the environment. She wants you to grow up and start... You... They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. There's no way they'll let you. He wants to know who you think you are. She asks if you're hurt. What happened? She says it's nice of you to consider them, but they have weapon training at sunrise tomorrow, so they'll need all the rest they can get. The most important thing is that you're okay. It's time to focus on your training now. You won't need excuses if you are strong in your conviction. Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best. Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He wants to know how you're feeling. He heard you helped Gizmo clean up. He's proud of you.
Tomasakula imapela.
He asks if you could help him too before you leave for training.
Fianagas.
He wishes that was true for your Muma too, but guiding the village into the future and teaching Wang Fu to her disciples seems more important for every day.
Fiana.
He suggests you get going and find him gadgets and ideas for how you can upcycle some old fabrics. He's curious to see what you found.
Lech echine.
He's all for
Echine. Vaxa u intabada. Dana untiza. Silogu bachtinea. Amanka.
The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp on you. He knows you should take it. He thinks you should. He's Your Muma says it's about time you got here.
Asilnatu Katyaktopoluta.
Wants you to understand that you can do anything if you work really hard.
Kala Nampusa.
She says she is eager to get started. You don't have much time left before the sun goes down.
Gendra Namala. Boilakuto.
But there's enough time left for repetition, and you need it. Training dummies don't hit back.
Brumblena Marsamon.
Wants you to prove that with some practice.
Sadurutu.
Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you.
Kanyala Notoro.
That's all she's ever asked of you.
Minalagi Mamuru. Sadurutu.
Been working on a present for you, with the help of Gizmo and Wiz.
Kamonu. Andro?
You should go see him and find out what it is. You've deserved it.
Asilnatu.
That's why you should be sure to thank him for it. Catchy.
Amun.
Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful.
Asilnatu.
She's happy you appreciate what others do for you.
Andro? Dere?
A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in old-world tech that makes it a potent communication device.
Ariaroche nui mumera.
It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see.
Inadabsunka,
Says it's not a record keeper, more like a companion.
mustiki muhka,
Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder, it's been a long day.
brumblere marsamavunundu.
She's so happy you made the most of it. Rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Lupa Lupin from setting the world on fire. Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. Then to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it.
Kuri kumbala muma.
Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. This time there's no escape. She can hear him coming.
Ansonvara.
Lupa Lupin is a problem older than you.
Kialdo male kanaro tono. Inadabsunka,
Whatever happens, you need to know she loves you. And everything she's done has been to protect you, your...
kalino,
She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. History has finally caught up with her.
mustiki muhka, sana yote.
She loves how brave you are, but she can't be worrying about you while she fights. This is her fight. Here it comes, the past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose. Crit. Middle-lifed.
Banapupei e pankenatuj. Nojo no ki dekipaju ki no kidenu.
You gave them no choice but to take it down, even though they'd planned to take the fluff hulk out to the far Fnacky leaves and let it go.
Lumumo na mana prat tiknopap.
They've received news a Ronin had strengthened their ranks and were looking forward to meeting you.
Punwam chao pio tatao pizia.
A group of myriad crusaders already headed out to Jagni's Mercadorpus outpost and are waiting for you there.
Toi tapletsia.
You should hurry there and help them best the outpost.
Zi pregnantia.
You complete them. From this point on, the myriad is unbroken. Look, an emergency box from the... Wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist. Night falls like a giant around here. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? That notice board? Filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old Toxanol brick towns. Pay attention. The Toxanol Corporation made this place, and then just threw it away when they were done with it. Well, small ones. Places like this were cheap back in those days, and there was plenty of space. Get done with one place, you just build another. There must be a track somewhere in this brick town. Just hope it's not buried. That's a keeper. The forest smells so strong and fresh. This corner of the world is called Bricktown. A flush stool. Seems like the tighteners on the piping need to be unturned correctly to drain the flush stool. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. That's the kind of trouble you really want to wash away. For some, the night brings terror. That's for someone a little bit more advanced. wild headgear. The night time is the right time. Let's see. It suits you. Looks like the Fry Sparker's knobs need to be in sync if you want to get the hardware working. Just a few moves left. Make them count. It's a Fry Sparker mindset. Boom! You got something. It's not exactly what you wanted, but you got it right away. As long as karma exists, the world changes, and we change with it. Looks like it'll work. You found the track! Amazing it wasn't destroyed. So much of this place was just discarded. Lucky that... No, it was never nice. It was new once, but that's not nearly the same thing. Just being new never lasts. The tracks moved on from Bricktown, and you should too. The light's coming back. You found the whereabouts. The deepest, darkest forest in the land. Sometimes hard to see for all the trees. That's a resource totem, a monument left behind by those that picked scrap, trying to keep the area clean. That's a Jagni tribe outpost. Looks good. Take a moment to absorb the day.
Hilse Safala.
Says there's an interesting place nearby that no one knows.
Himatu Saina.
Not sure if you're likable enough to be let in on it.
Penalinde si Taulomo.
Says you look trustworthy. Might as well tell you where it is.
Nam Taubeuna Mampoa, Gisaula the Kodle Bilunis.
Squawks about Myriad wasting their time with shiny lights when they should be begging Jagni for darkness.
Gisaula the Kodle Bilunis. Bayo Osina Tosina Mai.
Wishes you'd been better as a kid, but is glad you finally figured it out.
Tolenea Su.
Says you're welcome back. Smashy bash. That number doesn't work for you. You need more scrap.
Mapfasalamo Mona.
Says it. Here's the first line. That's a bomb lobber. twirly wheel works that drain pipe. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Everything's clocking together. Can't hurt to try. Keep going. That cage is holding a helper. They never lost hope you'd come, but weren't sure if they'd last long enough to see it. Says the tribe's been hard on them, wants revenge. A sharpshooter. The scaffolding looks unstable. Better stay clear of the red ray. Here's the second line of defense. Red means danger. Timber. Bet a big bump will bring it down. Switched off the light. A barrel shoot. Smack it to get a barrel out of it, then hit it toward the gate and blast it. That looks splody. Shoot it and watch it blow. Not too close, though. Kaboom! You're in. Almost there. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. Says you did a great job capturing the outpost. Figures the honor belongs. Out of Date says he's doing his best to keep up, but from what he can tell, it seems you're making progress with the tribe conflict.
E baso to bubu bukoye.
He had a feeling you'd get along with the Myriad tribe, but it remains to be seen what the future holds for your alliance.
Ko bubuye bu yalawa watnawa.
You seem to share the same values as the Myriad tribe.
Yo wotulua.
That doesn't sound good. Out of Date's forebodings are justified. The jumbo puff needs to be taken care of.
Ko bubuye bu deno kun.
Gizmo is working on making his Mekton strong enough to endure the oxygen-deprived dead zone all the way out to the World Eater.
The water.
You should get over there and see what you can do to... Wishes you would just give up and let the world burn.
Je ne veux à la douleur.
Says some realize the world is ending and can't stop listening to the clock ticking.
Non sabarati, valaveci babatis.
Click is one of those. He wants to unlock every door in the world.
Arukida. Durreta haggegege.
If he wants to do that before the doors are all gone, he'd better hurry.
Brikzam zizi nabala.
Figures if they knew that, they'd be opening all the doors too.
Nukudo gzegerg. Avotoki. Amanumashu.
Says if you want to find Click, you should look for him, well, anywhere. No, really, that's what it's called. The place he set up shop.
Nukudo gzegerg.
Eventually, he'll show up to try to open them.
Amangara dansa fish.
He's in even more of a hurry than you are.
Asweshe kuffet.
Thinks that's something he'd be best at helping with. Tickety-tock, no daylight left to waste. Let's see.
Hello, this voice message is for Gerald. My name's Callie with Cardinal Staffing Services, reaching out to see if you're currently looking for employment.
Hello, premium Snapchat. Hello, premium Snapchat. Alright, I hope this works. I really do. As far as video quality. If not, this is going on my OnlyFans. So. I can even see